California's Golden Parks is made possible by Toyota, who is committed to keeping the air clean at all our beautiful parks with its hybrid Synergy Drive technology. In vehicles like the innovative Prius, Highlander Hybrid, and the Camry Hybrid. Lower emissions and higher gas mileage help hybrid Synergy Drive vehicles create a minimal impact on the environment. So take a deep breath, relax, and enjoy another one of California's Golden Parks.
Well, hello everybody, I'm Huell. Take a good look right over here, because this is one of the most famous, best known pieces of real estate anywhere in the entire state of California. In fact, people travel here from all over the world just to see this place for themselves. We'll be spending the whole day here checking this place out, seeing some beautiful scenery, meeting a lot of nice people. And before this adventure is over, we've been promised two major surprises. It's going to be a great day, and you're invited to join us here at San Onofre State Beach, which is definitely one of California's golden parks. Here comes the train, right on cue. And Rich, this is a perfect time for you to explain to everybody. Well, first you better introduce yourself.
Well, welcome, Huell, to San Mateo State Beach. My name is Rich Rozzelle. I'm the superintendent of Orange Coast District of State Parks.
All right, now we said we were at San Onofre State Beach, but this particular part of the park is probably the most famous. Explain to everybody where we are, as if this doesn't kind of give it away right here.
Well, as we just saw, this is Trestles, and it's named for the trestle that's standing right behind me. It's been here for over 100 years. These train tracks came up from San Diego all the way to Los Angeles. And Trestles is a special place for a lot of different reasons, but specifically right here at this beach is some of the world's best surfing. Surfers from around the world buy plane tickets every year to come to Trestles to say they've surfed one of the best waves in North America.
All right, now we're kind of aiming this way with the camera, looking at the trestle. I think I've got that part of the story down. Let's walk out here, because this is the famous Trestles Beach. And to get here, you kind of have to hike quite a way in from the freeway, which is what, about a mile away?
Sure, Huell. It's about 3/4 of a mile, and that's what really makes Trestles a special place, is because it does take an effort, and it's well worth the hike. Folks will get on their skateboards, on their bicycles, carry their surfboards on foot, bring their beach chairs and come down and enjoy some of the best waves in the world, as well as the beautiful sandy beaches here at Trestles.
And what's interesting about this, with all of the crowded beaches in California, the people who make the effort to get to Trestles make the effort because they want to be here. It's not as simple as just driving up to some big parking lot and getting out of your car and being at the beach. It's kind of a special place.
Sure, Huell. People come to Trestles because it's a wilderness beach experience. You have a beach environment that's untainted by urban development. You don't have parking lots right up to the sand. You don't have concession stands. They come here because the water's clean, the air's clean, and the birds and the animals are running around in the wetlands and along the beach.
Now, I was expecting to see some big waves and thousands of surfers out here. This is kind of a quiet Saturday morning, isn't it?
Today the surf is running about 2 to 3 feet. Normally this time of year, though, we get large swells generated out of the southern hemisphere, as well as by hurricanes off of Baja California. It's not uncommon this time of year to see waves as high as 10, 15 feet.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there surf competition here?
There's very limited surf competitions because state parks wanted to strike a balance between the public's ability to come recreate and as well as the need to have surf contests. But some of the best surf contests in the world come here. In fact, some of the best surfers in the world come to this particular park to enjoy this exceptional wave.
And there's your trestle right over there.
Yeah.
And here is your beach right over here. And the surfers, well, they're about, oh gosh, they go all the way down. So they're probably 100 surfers in the water just kind of waiting for the waves to come along.
Trestles actually makes up 4 different breaks. You have Cotton's Point, which is up down here to the right where the coast heads north. you have upper Trestles here, right out in front of where we're standing right now. Down the beach, you have lower Trestles, and that's actually the spot that most surfers want to go to. And then you have an area further down called middles, and then you actually have the last break before you get to Surf Beach, which is called churches. The reason they call it churches because back in the early 1900s, there was a town up on the bluff behind you called Forester. Forester was a very small town, had a post office, maybe 40 people lived in the town at the time, but there was a chapel as a part of Forester. So the surfers named it churches because it was straight off from Forester and the church that was there.
So these beaches are connected very strongly with California history. They have been a part of the California beach culture since the very early days.
Well, that's so true, Huell, and in fact, it even goes further back than that. And we can talk later on about the Native Americans who lived here and found this place to be so exceptional for their lifestyle, as well as how modern man finds this as being a respite from their busy urban life.
Obviously, you come here a lot.
Yeah, I live actually right up the street.
Ah,
So.
Oh boy, you are lucky to live this close.
Yeah, I did it on purpose.
There are people who come here from all over the world just to visit this place that's right down your street.
Yeah, actually there's a couple guys out there from Japan and a German guy, all over the world.
Now why do they come here?
Oh, it's a world-class wave. It's a beautiful place. You know, you're getting away from society. Like this is beautiful. It's gorgeous. So it's a natural beauty. You have to protect it. Appreciate the wave.
Yeah, when I'm looking out here though, I'm not seeing big waves.
Well, the wind just kicked up, so it's not as good anymore. But there's some sides coming through. A few fun waves.
And part of the experience is just being here.
Yeah, oh totally. The walk down, it's like a 15-minute walk down, so you like little, nature cruise. You get to go down to the waves. It's mellow, there are lifeguards, cruising the beach, but it's not like tons of people.
Yeah.
And it's secluded, so it's a nice little isolated spot. It's a getaway.
Now, according to Rich, these rocks right here off the beach, and oh boy, look at the birds coming. What kind of birds are those?
Those are pelicans.
Wow, that's a lot of pelicans.
That's a big flock, Huell. They come up from Mexico every summer, and you can see them feeding on bait fish right outside the surf line here.
Wow, that's a beautiful sight just to see the pelicans coming in.
Extremely graceful bird.
Right over the surfers.
Yes. They'll actually ride the airways on top of the wave. As the wave rises, it pushes air up, and you can see them ride that wave of air.
Wow. Now back to these rocks. These rocks are part of the reason that Trestles is such a great place to surf.
That's true, Huell, because the balance here between the amount of rocks and the amount of sediment is all controlled by the San Mateo Creek. We're standing at the mouth of San Mateo Creek. That balanced watershed throws these rocks out here during winter storms and creates points in the ocean. Those points in the ocean cause the wave to wrap around the point as it breaks towards shore, giving the surfer the opportunity to ride an unbroken portion of the wave. That's really why Trestles is such an exceptional wave, is because the wave slows down on these points and breaks faster as it goes into shallower water.
It's all about geography.
It's about geography and geology. It's all about the whole watershed working together.
All right, now when we talk about Trestles, again, we're talking about just one of, how many miles of beaches do you have up and down here that are part of San Onofre State Beach?
San Onofre State Beach includes 5 miles of coastline, and it's the closest thing to walking a deserted beach in Baja, California. You get down on some of the beaches on the south end of the park, and on a fall or spring day, you can walk for miles and not see a soul.
Is that just because they're so isolated?
Well,
the 5 freeway is just right over there.
It takes a little bit of effort to get to these special places, but when people get to them, they really find a jewel in the state park system.
All right, I think we've talked enough about the beaches. I think it's time for our first surprise. And our first surprise is not that far away. At least the beginning of our first surprise is not very far from where we're standing right now. But before we leave the beach, let's take a look out one more time. You see the rocks that are brought here by the San Mateo Creek, and they're the surfers out there taking advantage of world-famous Trestles Beach. This is a great place to surf. Boy, the trains just keep coming. And we're walking back toward the trestle because this is the beginning of our first surprise, and that is that there's more to this beach, to this park, than just the beach. What are we looking at right here, Rich?
Well, Huell, this is San Mateo Creek. And San Mateo Creek this time of year is typical for most creeks in Southern California, where the sand builds up and actually blocks it from going into the ocean. But in the wintertime, San Mateo Creek becomes a torrent during a big storm. This water goes flushing out to the ocean.
Oh, that's where the rocks come from that you showed us.
Exactly. That's the balance I was talking about between the rocks and the sediment, creating this great surfing opportunity.
So if we came back here in the wintertime, this water rushing down the creek would break through this sand here and go right into the ocean.
Sure. In fact, something really interesting happens when that water breaks and goes to the ocean. There's some steelhead trout that are standing offshore or swimming offshore, waiting for the opportunity to swim up this watershed, up this creek, to areas where they can spawn. And it's all part of the history of the steelhead trout in Southern California.
So wait a minute, the steelhead trout know to be offshore in the wintertime, so when this creek breaks through, they can swim up to spawn.
That's true. In fact, during rain events, before the berm is actually breached, you'll sometimes see steelhead trout staging right in the shallow water, just waiting for that opportunity. As you're aware, in Southern California, the rain cycles are such that they have to take the opportunity. When that creek is open, they shoot up so they can spawn and keep the generations of steelhead trout going.
And here's what some of the surfers were talking with us about earlier, this whole green area right here. Look at this. Is this a wetlands? What is this we're looking at right here?
San Mateo Creek, the watershed is, especially the mouth here, is very wide. Interstate 5 actually funneled it down to a narrower section, but over history, this creek would meander from Cotton's Point down to the next bluff further down. It's actually a creek mouth that's probably a mile wide. This whole area, the wetlands area, is part of Trestles Wetlands National Preserve, which is a part of San Onofre State Beach, but it receives higher protection from California state parks because it is so sensitive and is so unique for Southern California.
See, I've always heard about trestles in relationship to surfing.
Sure.
But the first part of our surprise is that there is a lot more to trestles than just the beach. And there it is right there, these beautiful wetlands and the mouth of San Mateo Creek, which flows during the winter right into the ocean. Here they come. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing? Wait a minute. Stop just a minute. You're not surfing, you're running your dog.
Yeah, trying to get a little exercise in, and the dogs want to go, so.
Are you down here every day?
Pretty much in the afternoons,
Do
yeah.
you ever surf down here?
Once in a while, but not real good. My boys are surfers, so.
Well, because Trestles is known for surfing, not for running dogs.
That's true, but you know, it's for everything. It's
Yeah.
a beautiful spot, and enjoy it, and so.
You're
it's
glad
fun.
it's here.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're out of breath a little bit.
Yeah.
The dogs are looking like they're doing just fine.
They're doing good, yeah. They keep me going.
Have a good day.
Thank you very much. See ya.
And we're going backwards. We're coming from the beach.
That's true.
This is the route that everybody takes when they leave their cars up off the highway and go down to the beach. This is the legendary hike down to the beach.
That's true. On the way down, it's downhill, but on the way back, it's the hard way back because everyone's surfed and spent a whole day at the beach. They're tired, and then they got to walk back up. But it's all part of the experience of going to Trestles, and that's why people keep on coming back. It's different.
Here's the little sign right here. Welcome to San Onofre State Beach, established 1971. Surfing Trestles. And here are the beaches: Church Beach, Middles Beach, Lowers Beach, Uppers Beach, Cotton's Beach. And Rich, over here, this is historic too, and I didn't know about this.
Yeah, Huell, this is actually old Highway 1. This was the main road between LA and San Diego. And when California State Parks began operating this became part of the trail system. In fact, this is part of the California Coastal Trail.
Right here.
This is it. In fact, you can park your car at San Onofre State Beach and ride all the way to Oceanside without getting on a public street.
Wow. Yeah. Now, we're walking down the old Highway 1 bridge, A lot of cyclists use this, obviously. Howdy.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Another surfer with an unsolicited testimonial. You're on your way home from
On my way
surfing.
home, I just live right there, that's right.
Wow, you are so lucky to live here.
Yeah, it's a great place to live.
People who have never been here before don't even really know what it's all about, do they?
I don't think they do, and that's maybe a good thing.
Yeah, you're keeping it a secret.
Yeah, that's not a big secret.
Nice to meet you,
Nice to meet you, Huell. Okay.
And look over here, Rich. This is what we really came up here to see. We saw some of the wetlands down below, right at the beach, but look out here at all of this green.
This is the beginning of San Mateo Creek as it moves up the watershed. In coastal canyons in Southern California, it's quite common to see large willows, sycamore trees, oak trees growing in the creek beds like you see here.
Wow.
And this is really what makes San Onofre a special place, because you have so much diversity. You have the sandy beach, the coastal lagoon, and then as you move up the watershed, you've got this beautiful creek with the trees growing into there.
Wow. That's where we were standing. That's the mouth of the creek over there, isn't it?
That's correct,
With the
yeah.
water. We can see the water. This is an absolutely beautiful area. Look at the size of these trees. This is spectacular. And it's all part of the park. Now Rich has brought us to a place that puts it all in perspective. Standing up here on this overlook, there's San Onofre State Beach going all the way down the coast here. There's the railroad track and of course the trestle. That's where San Mateo Creek flows into the ocean right down there. All out in here is the wetlands, the natural area that's been set aside here, all of this green. But the last part of our first surprise is that there's even more than this to see. A lot more. Now we're getting to the main part of our first surprise, because we have left the Trestles
Wetlands Natural Preserve.
over there. We've come all the way down here, and boy, talk about a visual aid. We've got a big one right here. The state parks is pulling out all the stops. But this is what is so interesting and what was such a total surprise for me, and I guarantee for most of you as well. This is where we were right here. This is the beach. This is the coast, San Onofre State Beach. Here's Trestles right here where we were. Here the wetlands area right here, the old Highway 1. And now look at this aerial view. Rich, what is all of this where my hand is going right now?
Well, that's all part of San Mateo State Beach.
How many acres are we talking
That's
about?
1,200 acres of the park. It's almost, it's more than half of the park is the inland portion of it.
So more than half of the park is out here off the beach, and this area goes back for miles.
It's 4 miles from the ocean to the very back of the state beach, and it includes miles of hiking, equestrian trails, mountain biking trails, and it also includes one of the most popular campgrounds in the state park system, and that's San Mateo Campground.
We're standing right in front of San Mateo Campground here, which holds how many people?
This campground has 160 sites, and we allow 8 individuals per site. This campground is one of the most popular in the state park system because it's within a 1 hour's drive for over 30 million people in Southern California.
And it's within a 1 mile hike
Of Trestles.
to Trestles. So people come here and camp and then hike into Trestles right down the road here. But this is just, I want to go over this again. Here's the coast. I love this right here. This is the part of San Onofre State Beach that I think everybody would be familiar with. But look how it comes in. Just follow my hand. All the way in, all of this undeveloped area, all the way to here?
To this point right here, Hill.
Right here.
Yeah.
All of this, over 1,200 acres,
Correct.
is part of San Onofre State Beach. And that's a little confusing to call this a state beach I mean, I know it's connected with the beach, but that's what throws people off, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit, but actually people who discover this, they recognize it as a state park. It's part of the state park system. State Beach is a designation that we have where we define the different units of the state park system.
So it's all part of the same park.
It is all part of the same park, and a very special park at that.
Well, this area is a campground for present-day Californians, but Rich, this area was also a campground and home for people who lived here many, many years ago.
No, that's true, Huell. What drew the Native Americans here hundreds and thousands of years ago was the natural diversity of the land. They would be able to go on hunting expeditions up the canyon, along the creek, or go down to the ocean and catch fish and collect marine species, and that's what they lived on. This area was actually part of a great village called Ponhe, and the Ahashiman people who lived here, this was a very special place to them, obviously because it was very rich in food and water with San Mateo Creek. And even to this day, the Ahashiman people come to San Onofre State Beach to worship the dead and to worship their spirits. And this is actually a sacred location for the Ahashiman people.
And now for our second big surprise. The first big surprise was to discover that there's much more to San Onofre State Beach than just the beach itself. There's 1,200 acres of land going back for miles from the beach that's filled with hiking trails and all of this wonderful natural area. The second big surprise, and this is not necessarily a good one, is what some people want to do with sections of this park that we've just seen.
Well, you're correct. It's not a good surprise. The Orange County Transportation Corridor Agency has proposed to build a 6-lane toll road right through the center of that 1,200-acre portion of San Onofre State Beach. Over here to the right is a ridge line that would be cut down and carved, and the ridge line behind you would be cut down and carved. That 6-lane freeway comes within 100 feet from where we're standing at the San Mateo campground.
This close, it comes within 100 feet of the campground.
There would be semi trucks and cars traveling 100 feet from this campground.
And we're talking about 6 lanes? That's a freeway.
Huell, 6 lanes through the center of the park. California State Park's position is that kills this portion of San Onofre State Beach. It becomes a remnant of what was once a big intact open space area where obviously the birds and the animals had a place to live, but the public has a great opportunity to recreate here now, and we're trying to protect that.
Now, the toll road would come right through this mountain here, come right over us right here?
Huell, I'll be honest with you, the alignment that was chosen couldn't be worse as far as protecting San Onofre State Beach. It comes right through the center of it. At this point, it would be on a fill slope, and then they cut a ridge line down, and then ultimately when it gets down to San Mateo Creek, it's an elevated bridge that's constructed over the creek, over Interstate 5, as you can see in the distance, and then over Trestles Wetlands Natural Reserve before it merges back into Interstate 5.
So it just cuts right smack dead through the middle of this park.
Right smack through the middle of it.
Well, now, there's a big brouhaha down here in Orange County. Lots of people are for it, lots of people are not for it. Both sides are very vocal. We've met a lot of people today expressing opinions about all of this. It's actually now become a state issue because you're talking about infringing upon a state park that's been here for a long time. And pardon me if I sound naive, but I thought a park was a park was a park, that once something became a state park, it was protected forever as a park.
Well, that's what we believe at California State Parks. We believe that's what the public believes, but it's a matter the public is not aware that the fact that this park is in jeopardy. We used to have a motto in California State Parks, and we do. State parks are forever. In this case, it may not be forever.
So in other words, this state park could be a state park and the site of a 6-lane toll road freeway going right through the middle of it, because that's where the powers that be decided this toll road should go.
As absurd as that sounds, that a sacred piece of land that the state taxpayers have paid to develop and come and enjoy on a monthly basis, on a daily basis, that can be all taken away.
Well, when you say that the taxpayers have paid to develop, they've also paid to keep it natural.
Correct.
Keep it open, keep it the way it was. In Southern California, to have this much open space and flowing right with this creek flowing right into the ocean, this is priceless.
It's truly priceless, Huell. There will never be a campground built like this in the state park system ever again. There's just no more coastal land in Southern California available for state parks to acquire.
Yeah.
This is it. That's why it is so important to protect what we have, as opposed to just cast it off and say you can put a road through it.
Well, it's hard to imagine standing here right now and looking out at this and having seen and experienced what we have seen and experienced today, to even visually project and imagine a 6-lane concrete freeway with trucks and traffic going right up and down this canyon all the way to the ocean, just to, I think, probably temporarily relieve a little bit of traffic off the 5 freeway.
You're right, Huell. It is a temporary fix. In fact, studies have been completed that it actually does not improve traffic flows on Interstate 5. It actually hinders them. There's also other studies to say that there are alternatives to improving the infrastructure that exists today, including Interstate 5, that could actually have better improvement to traffic flow through Orange County.
Well, like I said, it's a big brouhaha, and I think I've just put myself right in the middle of it. Thanks a lot, Rich.
Well,
but I feel very strongly because, you know, this whole series is about our park system here in California and how blessed we are to have this park system.
We travel around the United States, my wife and I, and people tell me about their state park system, but they also know that California state park system is the best in the nation.
Well, it is the best. Thank you for giving us the tour of this amazing place. You got to come see it for yourself. San Onofre State Beach, it's over 2,400 acres.
Over 2,100 acres.
2,100 acres, some of it on the shore, on
Correct.
the beach, and a
5 miles.
lot of it back from the
Correct.
beach.
5 miles of coastline, including Trestles that we were at this morning, and 1,200 acres of inland area, including the San Mateo campground.
Wow, this is a very special place, a wonderful place that hopefully will be here for generations to come, just like it is today. San Onofre State Beach, definitely one of California's golden parks. And let's hope it stays that way, just like it is today. What a beautiful park. And of course it belongs to all of us, so you gotta go see it for yourself. If you'd like to go on this particular adventure again, share it with family or friends, or more importantly, donate a copy to your local school or library. It's available on video cassette and on DVD. All you have to do is call 1-800-266-5727, and we'll be glad to send it to you right away.
This presentation of California's Golden Parks was made possible by Toyota, who wants you to get out and see these incredible parks for yourself. Toyota is committed to preserving their natural beauty with its hybrid synergy drive technology in vehicles like the Prius, Highlander Hybrid, and Camry Hybrid. Lower emissions and higher gas mileage help hybrid synergy drive vehicles have a minimal impact on our natural wonders. We'll see you next time on California's Golden Parks.